everybody.
All your favorite wrestling shows rolled into one. Welcome to the WeBook It podcast. Let's start the show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Monday Night Raw Dog on this beautiful Monday evening. I am your host, Coach, and I am joined once again by the man who transforms this podcast, not only with Monday Night Raw Dog, but also what he does holding it down for the AEW as well. It is Big Daddy C.
What's going on, everybody? For once, I'm feeling good on a Monday after a Bears game. Man, we beat the Cowboys' ass, and rightfully so, after trading Michael Parsons, basically gift wrapping Michael Parsons to the Packers. And Packers also lost yesterday, too, on a walk-off field goal after getting their field goal blocked by the Cleveland Browns. So it was a very great day for football. And so it wasn't a great day. It wasn't a great weekend for professional wrestling if you were watching, Timu WrestleMania, a.k.a. WrestlePalooza. All this promotion and hype just for it to be a glorified, essentially a glorified house show or Saturday night's main event. So yeah, it's I'm pretty sure the guys covered all bases yesterday in my absence, but yeah, it was not a great show. Basically, ESPN even gave it a C average grade. So it should tell you everything you need to know on the very network that they just partnered with, gave them a C. But yeah, solid Monday night, show. Nothing to write home about, but we'll get into that information there. Take it away, Coach.
All right, yeah. After coming off a disappointing WrestlePalooza, it is much needed that WWE gets back on track as they head into Crown Jewel, which will be happening next month. And we see a little bit of that buildup into Crown Jewel with our opening segment. It is Cody Rhodes making a rare appearance on Raw, opening up the show. And as he promotes Crown Jewel being a champion versus champion match, Seth Rollins and the Vision appear, to which Seth Rollins comes to the ring not to attack Cody, but just to have a conversation. And he says that he had this date circled on his calendar for quite a while because this is much bigger than just a champion versus champion match. It is a battle for the direction of the company, to which Rollins asked Cody what he truly thought of Seth Rollins, to which Cody says that basically he complimented him and said that you helped make me who I am today, credited Cody's return at WrestleMania 37, had their Hell in a Cell match. Then also, of course, who could forget WrestleMania 40, to which Seth Rollins was wearing the watch that Cody gave him after WrestleMania 40 when he won the championship, to which Rollins said this is the first time he's actually wearing it. And Rollins goes into his spiel about what he's doing with the Vision, and he's basically asking Cody to join him without actually asking, if that makes sense. But he basically also says, listen, you can be the quarterback, but you're going to be my quarterback. Basically saying Seth Rollins runs this show. To which Cody took exception to that and said, listen, I hope that it's going to be a one-on-one match and there's no interference. But also remember, I'm 3-0 against you, and dropped the mic and left. with Seth looking very perplexed. This was much needed for a proper build-up for this match, because the last time Cody was in this champion versus champion match was against Gunther, and I mean it was just kind of the best versus the best, which was good. It made it a good match, but adding this layer of storyline to it makes it a little bit more enticing. So I thought very strong way to kick off Monday Night Raw, especially after the disappointing weekend. Yeah, I thought really good stuff here. See, what you think of this opening segment? You're muted, C. You got your mic off.
I loved it, honestly. I know we had a teaser, those two confronting each other after WrestlePalooza, and so or at least during the post show, and so we know Crown Jewel coming up, so we get champion versus champion, both the men's and the women's side, and so just continue another chapter in the rivalry between Cody and Seth Rollins. So promo's always been fired between these two. There's been a lot of personal shots thrown, but all valid points nonetheless. Cody Rhodes, has beaten Seth Rollins all 3 times that they had faced each other. We know, one of those matches was that second one between the two in the Hell in a Cell match. As Mike likes to call it, the love of the game match in Chicago at Hell in a Cell that I was at. That's the one pay-per-view that Mike can't say that I didn't invite him to, because obviously he invited me. So, but that's another topic for another day. But yeah, I'm excited to see these two have number 4. I think Seth will more likely go over this time around, since he's lost the first 3. You got to get one in at some point. So yeah, I had no issues with the segment. I liked it. We get another chapter into the rivalry, and I feel like this may end up bleeding into a Survivor Series at some point as well. So we'll see how that lines up.
Yeah, 100%. This is definitely going to kind of tease Survivor Series War Games. Speaking of war, we go into our first match, which is a no disqualification 6-man tag team match between the War Raiders and Penta versus the New Day and Grayson Waller. And, I'm hoping this is the last of whatever rivalry they're doing with Penta and the New Day. I wouldn't put it past them that this is going to keep going. But either way, pretty solid match. Some weapons were brought out, kendo sticks. There was a table spot. Everything was about what you expected from a no disqualification match. And then probably the best spot, which was the very last move, Penta hitting a super Mexican destroyer on Grayson Waller from the top rope. And Waller sold that thing perfectly, and Penta delivered it perfectly. That just put the cherry on top for the match. I mean, all in all, nothing really too exciting. It was an okay match. It didn't overstay its welcome, but yeah, the Penta Mexican destroyer, man, that was just beautiful. And hats off to Grayson Waller for selling it like that. But please let this be it for this rivalry. Please let this be it.
Man. Yeah, honestly, that Mexican destroyer off the top row was arguably the best, part of the match for me. I didn't really care too much else because I'm like you said, I'm over it as well. Like it's almost like just filler matches at this point, just to give some guys some time on the show. But yeah, so yeah, I'm with you, Coach. this needs to end expeditiously.
All right, so then we get to our next segment, which is the welcoming of the new Women's World Champion, Stephanie Vaquer, coming to the ring, to which she gives a promo of how this is her lifelong dream and that she says, nobody can stop me. However, she is interrupted by Adam Pearce coming in by saying she will meet the winner of Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax versus Jade Cargill at Crown Jewel. That match, of course, happening Friday on SmackDown. This was just good. It was really good. It was short and sweet. Stephanie, you can obviously tell she's worked on her English because you could understand what she was trying to say. Really, really good stuff there to also promote the SmackDown match on Friday. There is of note backstage, as Stephanie was being congratulated by Nikki Bella and Rhea Ripley, Asuka and Kairi Sane came in and basically said that Io Sky should have won, to which Stephanie said, I will challenge you no matter what. And Asuka backed down. However, Rhea was not too happy about that and challenged Asuka to a match that would happen later on in the night. Your thoughts on this segment as a whole?
I'm sorry, my memory blocked for a minute. What was it again? Because I was trying, because I'm multitasking, because I'm still getting stuff set up to upload later on. But yeah, what was the I'm sorry, Coach. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. Stephanie's promo and the backstage segment.
Yeah, I loved it, man. Obviously she showed up with her pops early on, and just touching tribute to him and her family and everything, just her love for the business. We've seen the grind that she's had, going from NXT, to now, on the main roster. She's definitely been one of the golden children of Triple H right now. She's one of the ones that's going to usher in the next, generation of talent. We know we got the current, some of the past, some of the present, and then she's part of that future. So I definitely think she can have a nice little title run, going into through the rest of the year. I do think the people that she goes, like her opponents, will dictate how successful that her run will be. Obviously, Rhea will probably be the first, challenger for that championship after Crown Jewel. But it will be nice to see her go against, the winner of the women's WWE Women's Championship on SmackDown. Personally, I want it to be Jade, but I'm pretty sure Tiffany's probably going to retain. And then I think we can get a potential 5-star match between these two at Crown Jewel. Those are my thoughts on it. Great segment. Congrats to Stephanie. And just a nice little heartfelt, promo that she gave.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just watching David Montgomery take it in for the touchdown. That's fantasy points, baby.
Oh, my friend Nate is not happy about that because he has Jahmyr Gibbs, and so.
Oh yes, baby.
He's wanting Jahmyr Gibbs to get all the touchdowns and rushing yards and stuff. Yeah.
Gibbs has 2 touchdowns tonight. He can share the wealth.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyways, we go on to our next match, which is Bayley versus Roxanne Perez And before the match, there was a backstage segment where Bayley came running up to Lyra and was talking about Lyra's match last week, to which Lyra was trying to apologize for disrupting Bayley in her dressing room, to which Bayley had no idea what she was talking about. So either way, Bayley comes out and she starts giving some hugs again and really starts to embrace her old self. And then as the match progressed, you could see her starting to get a little bit more of that heelish side as Rodriguez was at ringside. Lyra was also at ringside. She made a save during that. It was a pretty good back and forth between Roxanne and Bayley, and I would like to see these two go at it again, possibly at a PLE for maybe a title, but that's a little bit later on down the line. Either way, Bayley delivered the Rose Plant and a big knee for the win, and you could see Bayley was very frustrated with something, but Lyra went right into the ring, went to give her a hug, to which Bayley shoved her and said, "Think you can hug me? Do you know who I am? Stay out of my way." To which Lyra was very confused. And the crowd actually booed Bayley on the way out. This is why I'm really excited for this storyline, because she came into a cheers galore, and then she does that. She does the double turn or does the two-face move, and now she's getting booed on the way out. She's going to get cheered next week. I guarantee 100% after a match, after her next match. It is just, I really like this. I'm all in on the storyline, and they are really delivering it. Yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes. I think this is a genius storyline, and the split personality concept for Bayley, I think, works because people they will always love the hugger Bayley, but they also really enjoyed the heel Bayley, which made her kind of rise above everything else to where she is now. So I just think this is the best of both worlds kind of situation. And yeah, like I said it before, I'll say it again. I'm all in on this.
Yeah, I think that when I started to see how this is like playing out with her new character, only thing I could think of is that man Bray. His imprints are still, his influence is still going around right now, man. Because this is all like just oozing Bray Wyatt type of energy right now. Just the split personalities and alternate, personas and stuff like that. And so, we know how much of an impact he's had on women, the female superstars, like Bayley. And so, I'm pretty sure she kind of took from some of his stuff as well, like, just how he handled the whole, deranged, twisted, split personality thing. And so, yeah, I'm all game for it too. But you know me, I'm always going to ask, what is the end game for this gimmick? So where do you want to, how far do you want to take Bayley with this new gimmick? Are you just going to use it to, put, some of the younger talent over, or what? And so we've seen Lyra work with Becky. Obviously we've seen her work with Bayley. And so, like you said, it would be nice to see these two, have some more matches down the line. Hopefully eventually for a title, whether that's a mid card or world championship. We'll see. Yeah, I'm all for this new gimmick with Bayley. Like I said, reinvention is always key for longevity. You want to be able to, bring something new and not have the crowd get tired of it. And so in this case, like you said, it's almost like she's playing mind games with the crowd, you know, because at one moment she's getting cheered whenever she comes out there, and then next thing you know, she flips a switch and does something that causes her to get booed. And so it's just almost like the crowd doesn't know what to expect. And, you know, but, you know, we got the little children, the younger fans who can't really comprehend as much, you know, how to understand how this is working. You know, it's almost like, you know, they're going to go off their raw emotions whatever Bayley does. So I'm cool with it now. I wasn't sure how it was going to play out, but you know, I think they can take this one, you know, as far as they possibly can.
All right, we get to our next match, which is Rusev versus JD McDonagh, and this all came about when Dom Mysterio pretty much just without any warning just said, "Hey JD, I made a match for you tonight, and it's against Rusev. I want you to soften him up for me before next week's championship match," which they did make official that. Oh, touchdown Ravens. They're making it a game now. Okay. It is official. Next week it will be Rusev and Dom Mysterio for the IC title. JD was obviously not happy about it, but he said, okay, I'll do it for the Judgment Day. This was pretty much a squash match. However, I do like that they showed McDonagh fighting and everything. So I thought that was really nice to kind of give him some dues. But it was when Rusev put him in the accolade that Dom, instead of helping JD, just froze and was scared and didn't know what to do. Finn Balor had to come out and make the save, to which he actually beat up Rusev. And as they're walking away, he's just yelling at Dom, "What were you doing? This was stupid of you." And him and Finn just argue all the way back while they're carrying JD. Like I said, glorified squash match, but I got to give credit that they gave JD a good way of showing how tough he is in a loss. So, simple match, but I think good enough. Good enough to keep the storyline moving. See what you think.
I thought that this was a like you said, squash match. You know, there's nothing really right home about. But the aftermath of the match really kind of gave like a little bit of intrigue as to what's going to happen with the Judgment Day. You know, Dom not helping, JD McDonagh, Finn having to come out of nowhere and help. And then he's basically going at Dom like, why you ain't help us? And so we know there's been some tension, brewing between Finn and Dom ever since Dom won the Intercontinental Championship. And it's almost like Dom is pretty much has been, getting big-headed and, has been like, acting like he's been a man. Now that he's the new AAA world champion, just adds a little bit more of an ego, just boosting his ego even more. And so I think we're getting to the point where Dom will eventually get turned on by the Judgment Day. I don't know how long that's going to be, but we'll see what happens. Because I'm sure Finn, he wants some gold again, especially singles competitor gold. And so I think the writing is on the wall. And so I think Finn will more likely cost Dom the championship, the Intercontinental Championship. And then they'll more likely feud with each other for that AAA. I wouldn't be surprised if they feud each other, go against each other for that AAA championship. I don't know if it'll be at a AAA event or it'll be on a show or not. But on a WWE show, we'll see. But yeah, those are my thoughts.
All right, we get to our next match now. This match was supposed to be the main event. However, it got pushed forward a little bit due to what was to come in the new main event, which we will get to in a second. But it is Jey Uso versus LA Knight. And, of course, both of these guys do not like each other. They showed it in this match. They do have great chemistry. And that is what is needed when you have a rivalry like this. It was a lot of Jey Uso in control, but not in a usual way. He had some heelish tactics as well during this. And right as LA Knight was starting to get back, the Vision came out. LA Knight started attacking them. Didn't attack Jey Uso. They did not attack Jey. And then after LA Knight fended them all off, Jey hit a spear and then the splash for the win. And then as Jey goes to the top of the ramp, Jimmy comes out and congratulates him. However, the Vision starts beating up LA Knight. Jimmy says, "We need to get down there," to which Jey says, "No, I'm not going." And so Jimmy goes down by himself with the chair, sends the Vision away, and to which the Vision mockingly puts up their ones to the sky for Jimmy. Very interesting how this is going. They are definitely teasing that heel turn, and after tonight, I'm almost curious to see if Jey. Now that I think about it, probably not going to happen. I was just going to say maybe Jey joins the Vision. That doesn't make any sense for him to do that if he's going after the world title. I think he's just going to be a straight up heel so he can get the title. But yeah, really good job. And of course, this is just getting LA Knight over even more, to which we'll start wondering when will the title opportunity come for him. But that is for another time. See what you think of this supposed to be main event. I guess we can say co-main event since this was supposed to be the original one.
The match itself, I didn't care too much for it because it's almost like, all right, you've seen these two go at it 1-on-1 several times. It's just a little bit more personal this time around. And nevertheless, we're getting close to the same result. Vision, well, in this case, the Bronze. The Bronze are then you got Usos and then LA Knight. It's all like damn near the same ending again. So it's like I'm to the point where I'm starting to get tired of it. But like I said, it's all about Jey Uso and whether or not what is this going to lead to in terms of a heel turn and who is he going to go after in terms of world championships. So those are my only thoughts on it really. I'm just this has to lead to something big time. Is going to leave the crowd like oh my god, how could he, what's going, like what was this, so mm-hmm. I want to be wild, especially after this past Saturday. I need a shock value situation to happen expeditiously. I don't count the Brock Lesnar and John Cena as a shock value because we've seen that before. Correct. But I didn't think they were going to do it again, but but we've at least seen John Cena get squashed by Brock Lesnar before. So,
all right. So then we get to our main event, our big main event, which is Rhea Ripley versus Asuka. And this was a match boiling over from some heated backstage confrontations that finally came to a head. And man, these two women delivered. This was a fantastic match. Started out as just some grappling, then it started getting into some more psychological wrestling. Then just going blow for blow. The crowd chanting, "This is awesome!" And just as Asuka had taken Rhea down, she ordered Kairi Sane to take out Rhea. To which Kairi basically said, "No, that's not the right thing to do." But then Asuka just decided to put Rhea in an ankle lock. She blocked the cheap shot from Kairi Sane, and actually Kairi and Asuka bumped into each other, and then Rhea got the roll up for the win. And right as Rhea got her arm lifted, Asuka blew mist into her face, to which there was nasty stuff. She ordered Kairi to go ahead and beat it down, but I will say during this segment, you could see the resentfulness in Kairi Sane as she was doing it. You knew she did not want to do it, but she was just following orders. And then Io Sky comes in, she breaks it up, Asuka calms down, and they hug it out. But then after that, she takes a back fist to the head, does Io Sky, and Asuka officially turns on Io. And again, they start beating up Io. Kairi Sane very hesitant, doing her stuff, but they leave both women laid out, and that is how you end the show for Monday Night Raw. And a fantastic way to do it. We finally get the payoff of the Kabuki Warriors getting heel turns, and not only that, we get a great match. And it's, it may not have been a star-studded Monday Night Raw, but would you believe it, see that when you stick to what you are good at, you produce great shows. And when you try to stop being a spectacle, you can actually do great stuff. It's a crazy theory, I know, but...
Hey, TKO, less is more.
Mm-hmm.
There was no need for a WrestlePalooza. You all were just too damn thirsty. I was just too damn thirsty about this new ESPN partnership, and you couldn't wait until next year. So you wanted to go ahead and do a little trial run to see how a pay-per-view or PLE will work on the ESPN streaming app. Now, in terms of streaming itself, there were no issues. Everything worked out perfectly. In terms of the content, trash. All right, C average at best. Less is more. When you got something simple as such as what we got at Monday Night Raw tonight, which was a hell of a lot better than WrestlePalooza, good things happen. All right, so let's, and I'm pretty sure Crown Jewel is going to be a hell of a lot better. So let's keep it simple, TKO. All right, and Triple H, you ain't excluded from this blame either, sir. All right, so you still in control of creative. So I expected you to put on a better show. As much as you were one of the headliners out here on this press run on all the ESPN shows. I was watching, and we expected a lot, man. Y'all was promoting this shit like it was SummerSlam or WrestleMania, but it wasn't. Not even close.
Mm-hmm.
Not even close. It was barely Saturday night's main event. Hell, the old school in your house shows are better than this shit. So come on, we gotta do better. We gotta do better. But yeah, those are my thoughts on it. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry, I went on a little tangent. I forgot to talk about the main event. All right, the main event. The main event itself was awesome. We've been wanting this match because they've been teasing it ever since Asuka came back. So we finally got it. 101 Rhea versus Asuka. I wouldn't mind seeing this match 3 or 4 more times if they decide to do it. But yeah, we finally got the heel turn. You know, they finally turned on Io. Kyrie saying it's almost like she's in that typical role where she don't really want to turn on Io, but she following orders because she don't want to die. She don't want to die at the hands of Asuka. So that's pretty much where we at with that. You know, I see a tag team match coming up next week if they haven't already announced something. Yeah, I see them two going against Io and Rhea, or Io and Stephanie. You know, we'll see what happens there, but yeah, great match. I love the execution of the heel turn, you know, so we'll see how everything plays out from here on out. I'm pretty sure this will lead to a War Games match. You know, all these women will be involved in that, I'm sure. And so yeah, those are my thoughts on the main event.
All right, and that is going to wrap it up for another edition of Monday Night Raw Dog. Thank you so much to all of you that have tuned in to watch and or listen wherever you may be streaming from whatever platform. Thanks again for tuning in. Remember, we are everywhere here on the WeBook It podcast. We have shows about 5 times a week. We have, of course, Monday Night Raw Dog. We have Who's Next in NXT. We have Big Daddy C with the AEW recap. We have the SmackDown Lowdown, Hoedown, bringing around town with Fritos on Friday. And then, of course, the Sunday Night Pod, where we talk about everything happening in the world of wrestling. For Big Daddy C, I am Coach. We'll see you all next week on another edition of Monday Night Raw Dog.
Peace out, y'all. Thanks for always going to be tuning in. Catch you later.